Hello everybody, it's Gokulnath from the Crack with Gokulnath YouTube channel. How are you guys? I hope you guys are doing well. So guys, today we're going to solve some of the CBSE 12th standard term 1 questions. So let me start to solve guys. So guys, in this session, I'm not gonna solve the questions in a chronological order, but rather I'm going to solve the question in different orders, but I will solve every question of the section A. So the first question is that I took is the 7th question of your section A. So cos inverse of 1 by 2 plus sin inverse of minus 1 by root 2. This is the 7th question of your section A. So guys, this is a very easy question. So cos inverse of 1 by 2 is easy guys. That will be pi by 3. Because cos pi by 3 only will give us 1 by 2. And then plus of sin inverse of minus of 1 by root 2. Now, what is sin inverse of 1 by root 2? That is pi by 4. So, sin inverse of minus 1 by root 2 will be minus pi by 4. Correct na guys? Because sin inverse of 1 by root 2 is pi by 4. So, sin inverse of minus 1 by root 2 will be minus pi by 4. And when you solve, what you will get is 4 pi minus 3 pi divided by 12. Which is nothing but pi by 12. So, this is the answer guys. So, the option is, I will see the option. So the correct option which matches is A guys. So A12 is the correct answer for this 7th question of your section A. So correct na guys? Yes, that is A. So correct guys. So that's all about this question. Let us move on to our next question. This is the second question of your section A. The question is the number of all possible matrices of order 2 cross 3 which each entry 1 or 2. This is what they are asking guys. And the options are A16, B6, C64, D24. These are the 4 options. So guys, how you are going to solve this question is, they are given order is 2 cross 3, right? If the order of the matrix is 2 cross 3, can't I say that your number of elements will be 6? Can't I say that your number of elements will be 6? Even a UKG student or LKG student can say this, the number of elements will be 6. If the number of elements is 6 and they are given with each entry 1 or 2, observe this phrase carefully. With each entry 1 or 2 and they are asking the number of all possible matrices. So what you need to do is listen carefully. We know that the total number of elements is 6. In order to find the total number of all possible matrices, just you need to find 2 to the power of 6, which is nothing but 2 to the power of number of elements. What will be this value? Just find out the value and you will know the number of all possible matrices. That will be 2 to 2 cube will be 8. So 2 to the power of 6 will be 64. Because 8 into 8 is 64, right? So 64 is nothing but your total number of all possible matrices. So what is the option? Your option is, I think C is the option guys. So C in your section A, which is nothing but second question, that is 64. So that's the answer guys. C64 is the answer for your second question. So that's all about this question. Let us move on to our next question. Our next question is your 6th question of your section A. So 6th question is 3 points P 2x comma x plus 3, Q 0 comma x and R x plus 3 comma x plus 6. And these 3 points are collinear. Then x is equal to what? This is the question guys. So the options are A0, B2, C3, D1. These are the 4 options. So guys, whenever you see these type of questions, the first strike which you need to come onto your mind is your area should be 0. Whenever you hear these type of question or whenever you ask to find the value of x or anything, the first thing which you need to strike into your mind is the area should be 0. So please understand guys, if the 3 points are collinear, your area of a triangle is 0. Is not it? Is not it? So your area of a triangle is 0 because the 3 points are collinear. So what is area of a triangle formula? That is nothing but half into determinant of x1, x2, x3, then y1, y2, y3, then 1, 1, 1. This is the formula which you guys know for the area of a triangle. And this is even you guys learned in your 11th standard also. Even 11th standard students can solve this question. Because 11th standard students in coordinate geometry, they have learned this formula in a different way, in a different manner, whereas this determinant is opened. Okay, that is what I am doing now. So guys, half into determinant of x1, x2, x3, y1, y2, y3, 1, 1, 1. This is what I am having. And I said if 3 points are collinear, this area should be 0. And what most people will do mistake is, please understand guys, there should be a modulus here. There should be a modulus here. Don't do that mistake. There should be a modulus after all the determinant equations and expression. After simplifying that, you need to put the modulus. Because your area is always positive, right? Then definitely there should be a modulus on the whole. So this formula should be equal to 0. Because the area should be equal to 0, then only your 3 points are collinear. Now apply those values. When you apply, what you will get? Half into determinant of x1 is 2x. Then x2 is 0. Then x3 is x plus 3. Then y1 is I think x plus 3. Then y2 is x. Then y3 is x plus 6. Then 1, 1, 1. And this should be equal to 0. This should be equal to 0. I am just using the same formula. That's how I am doing. So this should be equal to 0 means open this determinant by your determinant way of method. When you open means what you will get is, you will get 9x minus 9 and that is equal to 0. When 9x minus 9 is equal to 0, 9x will be equal to 9. If 9x will be equal to 9, what you will get is x is equal to 1. So that's the answer guys. So the value of x is 1 if these 3 points are collinear. Just I use the concept of area is equal to 0 and that's how I found the answer. Your answer is 1 guys. So x is equal to 1. So that's all about this question. Let us move on to our next question. Question is your third question of your section A. The third question of your section A is the function f from all the real numbers to all the real numbers is defined as f of x is equal to x cube plus 1. Then the function as the options are no minimum value, then no maximum value, both maximum and minimum value, neither maximum value nor minimum value. These are all the options of this question. So guys, to solve this question, there are various types of method. So what mostly people will do is, first they will differentiate this f of x, which is a function. They will differentiate it. When you differentiate, what you will get is f dash of x, right? Differentiation will be f dash of x. When you differentiate, what you will get is x cube plus 1 differentiation will be 3x square. That will be the differentiation of this function. Because constant differentiation will be 0. So I don't need to write that. So differentiation of function, which is f dash of x, will be equal to 3x square. So guys, by seeing this itself, you guys would say that it will be neither maximum value nor minimum value. As simple as that. So if f dash of x is equal to 3x square means it shows that it is neither maximum value nor minimum value. So how I am saying this means, guys, by noticing the terms, what you need to conclude is, I'm not saying for this particular question. I will say for the question which is same as this type. What you need to do is find whether it is an increasing function or decreasing function. Then you can conclude that whether it have maxima or minima, whether it don't have a maxima or don't have the both things. That's how you should conclude and say the answer. So the answer for this question is D guys, D, which is neither maximum value nor minimum value. Your D is the correct option, which is neither maximum value nor minimum value. That's the answer guys. And you can also solve it another method by drawing the graph. When you draw the graph and show the reflection, in that way also you can do. That's also easy method, but this is a method which most people do. So that's all guys. Answer is neither maximum value nor minimum value, which is your D option. So that's all about this question, guys. Let us move on to our next question. Our next question is your ninth question of your section A. The question is, if a matrix A is both symmetric and skew symmetric, then A is necessarily a, the options are A diagonal matrix, B zero square matrix, C square matrix, and D identity matrix. So guys, this is an easy question, but how we are going to solve this question is, listen carefully. What does it mean by symmetric matrix? Symmetric matrix means your A transpose should be equal to A only. This is what you guys know about your symmetric matrix. So A transpose should be equal to A. Now, what is skew symmetric? Skew symmetric is nothing but your A transpose should be equal to minus A. This is what we mean by your skew symmetric matrix. So symmetric means A transpose should be A. Skew symmetric means A transpose should be minus A. This is what we are needed to know about your symmetric and skew symmetric. And they are saying the matrix A is both symmetric as well as skew symmetric. Then what you need to do is, listen carefully. From this, what I would say is, your A transpose would be equal to, for this matrix A, your A transpose should be equal to A as well as minus A. Because this matrix A is both symmetric as well as skew symmetric. That is why I am saying. Now, this shows that your 2A is equal to 0. If 2A is equal to 0, then your A should of course be 0. If A is of course be 0 means, then what does it show is, the A is necessarily a square matrix. That means 0 square matrix. That is what you guys need to understand. Because your A is 0, right? Then of course it shows that your A is a 0 matrix. So from the options, what I would say is, the B is the correct option, which is nothing but 0 square matrix. 0 square then matrix. This is the correct option. So guys, the answer for this ninth question of your section is B, 0 square matrix. Because guys, identify which option is 0. By that only I am saying B is your correct option, correct answer for this question. So that's all guys, and that's all about this question, and that's all about this questions on today's session guys. And I will solve the rest of the questions in next video. So until then, wait guys, and I will solve the next few questions are there. I will solve it in the next video. So that's all guys. I hope you guys would have enjoyed the questions, and do well guys. You will also get good mark only. Don't get upset. What students will basically do is, they now itself will decide the mark. I'm 36 out of 40. I'm 20 out of 40. I'm 23 out of 40. If you decide like that, then definitely you will lose your morale. Because upcoming exams are there. You should also focus on it. The 4 marks you will leave in physics means 4 marks you should gain in maths. That type of mindset you should have. Okay guys. So that's all guys. That's all guys. So thank you. Make education simple.